Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. It is weigh-in day. This week, I weighed in person at the studio. I am, as you all know, most of you know, I am a lifetime member with WW. And what that means is that I reached my WW goal. I maintained it for 6 weeks, and now I am free. I do not have to pay for the app or meetings or anything, as long as I am within 2 pounds above my goal. So my goal is 146. I need to be no more than 148. Luckily, my comfort zone is 136 to 138. I'm just a slight bit over that right now, but that's okay. But I'm under goal, so I don't have to pay, which is a beautiful thing. So I did weigh in studio and did not have to pay. I have to weigh in once every 8 weeks, it comes down to. It's supposed to be, I think they say once a month, but I get a voucher each time, and that voucher is good for 8 weeks. So I weighed in December 14th, so I have to weigh in again by February 16th, I think it is. I'm not sure. I will probably go in January just as a check. So how did I do this week? Did I tell you? I don't even know because I just get talking. I lost 3.6 pounds this week. Yep. So I am beyond thrilled, beyond thrilled. You know what? That loss of 3.6 pounds came from 3 nights in a row eating dinner out. Friday night, we had a Christmas party to attend. Saturday night, we got takeout Chinese. And Sunday, we ended up being on the road a lot longer than we thought we were gonna be. And we stopped at Cracker Barrel. 3 nights in a row, right before weigh-in, and I lost 3.6 pounds. Why? Planning. And that's what the weekly topic is a little bit about this week. It is about socializing during the holidays and how to stay on track. Now, I've talked about this over and over and over again, because to me, it is so important. And it all comes down to the planning. It does. Now, I'm not saying we're perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. I go in with a plan. Sometimes those plans go right out the window. But at least if I start with a plan and somewhat carry out that plan, I'm doing better than if I just went in flying by the seat of my pants. So let's see what WW has to say about it, and then I'll give you my take. Getting together, here's how to stay on track. Go ahead and get social. Follow the steps below to enjoy the holiday season and keep moving towards your goals. And they give us 3 things. The first one, imagine an upcoming event or meal. What could make it hard to stay on track? What can you do to make sure that you do? I am going to use the Christmas party we went to Friday night as an example. So, what can make it hard to stay on track? Well, duh, all the delicious food. Yes, all the delicious food and the desserts and the pickies could definitely make it hard to stay on track. What can you make sure you do to stay on track? Number 1, for me, go in with points. Not go in starving to death. I'm not going to starve myself all day. But I had a very low point breakfast on Friday, and lately I've been eating a big filling breakfast, and I've been eating a little bit later, so I haven't been hungry for lunch. Maybe just a piece of fruit or some veggies for lunch is all I've been doing, because it's what's working for me. It may not work for you. I don't eat breakfast until like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I love a hearty breakfast. I like a lumberjack breakfast. So, I'm still full come lunchtime. So a very light lunch does it for me. So that's exactly what I did Friday. I had a nice filling breakfast. I believe it was like a 3-point breakfast. I had a lot of protein, and then I had a little bit of fruit and veggies for lunch, and I had almost all of my points plus rollovers for the party. And I went in with a plan. I took an appetizer because this party we went to, she always has, her sunroom is where all the appetizers are, and her kitchen is where all the food is, and the desserts are kind of spread throughout. I took a very low point appetizer, one that I knew I really enjoyed. So I knew that there was going to be something that I could snack on a little bit while standing there socializing and talking and still feel part of the party. And that's what I did. I had a little bit of mine. I had one cracker with crab dip on it because she makes great crab dip, and I have to have a little taste of it. I think I had one piece of cheese and one piece of salami. And how I managed not to just keep eating and eating and eating and eating those appetizers, because let me tell you, I could make a meal out of an appetizer. They were in the sunroom. So what I did is I went in, I got my little plate of exactly what I wanted, and I hightailed it out of there. I went in the kitchen and talked to people in the kitchen and socialized with people in the kitchen. I went in the family room and I talked to people in the family room. I did not stay in that sunroom where I could just keep right into my mouth. So that was a great strategy that I used. Then when it came to dinner, I got my dinner on my plate. I kind of had a feeling I knew what she was going to have because she has this party every year. She had croissant sandwiches, but they were cut in half already. I split that half a sandwich with someone else. So I was able to have a quarter of a sandwich, which means I got to taste that delicious croissant. I got to taste the delicious meat and cheeses that were on it, but I only had a quarter of it. I got to taste it. I got to enjoy it without eating too much. She had sausage and peppers. I found the smallest piece of sausage that was in there and had that. She had meatballs. I took one meatball. She had this tortellini in this creamy Parmesan sauce. I absolutely wanted to taste it. I took 4 little bites. She had a salad. Took a big portion of salad. So I had a beautiful plate. Everything that was offered was on my plate. Everything. Just in smaller portions. I ate slowly. I ate like you could eat anywhere in the house. She had tables set up in the family room and in the sunroom and all that. And I chose to eat. Oh, I haven't had my tea yet today. I chose to eat in the dining room with friends. So while we're eating, we're talking, which slows you down. I would take a bite, I'd join a conversation. I'd take another bite, I would join a conversation. And by doing that, I ate slowly and I got satisfied and I got full. It was perfect. It was perfect. I had enough to eat. I had socialization. It just went well. Then it came time for dessert. She always has these little petit fours from this bakery, and they're very, very sweet. They're like a 1-by-1 bite, like a 1-bite petit four. I split one with Doug, and it was very sweet. So that little bite was perfect. And then Doug wanted some carrot cake, and of course I wanted to taste it too. So we asked for a half a piece. I put it in front of Doug, not in front of me, and I had like 2 or 3 little bites of it, little bites. I savored them and it was just enough. It was enough to taste it. It was enough to enjoy it. But I didn't eat too much. I didn't overeat. I was satisfied with that. And I think later on in the night, I split a cookie. I ate well. It was delicious. I ate until I was satisfied. And guess what? I felt good about it. That's the best part. I left there feeling like I ate everything. So I got to taste everything. I got to enjoy everything. I didn't leave there feeling sluggish and like, oh my gosh, I ate so much. Nope. So that was a great feeling. I felt in control. I felt good about myself. It was perfect. Now, sometimes plans don't always go. And sometimes we eat a little more than we should. And we can't beat ourselves up for that. We just have to move on, and we can't let that become a trigger. That was number one, and that was really long. So let's go to number 2, because I probably already covered all these. Choose a strategy. Pick 1 or 2 from the list below to address any potential hurdles you think you may face. So what they say is pile up the points. Save your weeklies or your rollovers for the big event. Lean on your 0-point foods during the rest of the week and grow your budget by adding personal points. You know, by exercise, by eating your veggies, by drinking your water, things like that. And that's what I did. I banked my points, because I'm sure, I did the best I could tracking. But, I don't know how many, I don't know what was in the tortellini sauce. And I don't know. I did the best I could. Always track. Always track. Give it something. And give it something that you think is fair. I was not going to give 4 pieces of tortellini in Parmesan sauce 2 points. Because I know it's more than that. I also wasn't going to give it 12 points because I know it's less than that. So be fair and be honest, but track it. Because when you see that tracked, it's eye-opening. It is. It is. Because if you go back later and track it and go, holy crap, I had no idea I was eating 30 points. But if you do it before or during, and it's quick and easy to track, you can easily slip away, track things. And if you see that, you go, oh, maybe I'm not going to have a whole cup of that tortellini. Maybe I'll just have a 1/4 cup, or maybe I'm not going to have 3 meatballs. Maybe I'll just have 1 or 2. So tracking it really keeps you mindful. And go in with points. Go in, don't starve yourself, but go in with points. But know how many points you are going in with. I cannot stress that enough. Number 2, mentally order ahead. This is if you're going to a restaurant. Take a peek at the menu in advance and decide what you'll get. I do that all the time if we're going out. Face it, almost every restaurant these days has an online menu. Check it out. Decide what you're going to get. And then get excited for it. Like, that's what I do. I look at the menu, then I start thinking, oh, that sounds really good. I can't wait. Get excited about your food. And then bring in balance. Reserve points to spend on something specific, like an appetizer, the meal itself, a dessert, or a drink. Then select other options heavier on the 0-point foods. If you are going to a restaurant where they have the best, we'll say my favorite dessert, creme brulee. If I know that I want to spend some points on the creme brulee, I'm going to think about what I'm having for dinner. I'm going to think they also make a really good salmon or a really good chicken something. And I will try to choose something for my main meal that might be a 0 point. If I know I'm going to have dessert, I'm going to skip the appetizer. Number 1, I don't need that much food. I can't eat that much food, and I'm not going to enjoy it if I don't feel good, if I feel stuffed. So definitely plan what you want to get out of that meal. And then it says, while you're there, Number 3, spring into action. Come up with a plan for when, where, and how you'll use the strategies. If you're going to a restaurant, it says, be the first one to order, and then you won't be tempted by what everyone else is getting. If you know that you want to get, the grilled salmon in a balsamic glaze, and that sounds good to you, order it first. Because if you hear, Jane sitting next to you and she decides to get the, lobster ravioli smothered in a Parmesan something that is 1,000 points, you won't be tempted. You're already ordered. You're excited about your salmon. Number 2, eye up the portions. If you are at a party like I was, choose a smaller plate because it will look like you have more food on that smaller plate. And it's so funny that I see that because there were 2 types of plates at the party we were at Friday night, like a regular size Christmas paper plate. And then there were these big oval serving platter size paper plates. I am so glad that I saw the regular round paper plate first, and that is what I used. And let me tell you, I had half a plate full of salad, so my plate looked full, and I was like, yeah, look at this feast. If I had that kind of food on a bigger plate, I might have been feeling a little like, ooh, you know, I see a lot of plate and not a lot of food. It's head games we play with ourselves, folks. It is, but if that's what works, it's what works for me. And the last thing they say is savor the experience. Eat slowly. Relish the taste, the aroma, and the texture of your meal, and enjoy the conversation too. It's just what I said. I didn't read this before I gave you my big spiel in the beginning. I guess I've just been doing this long enough to know what they're going to say. But it's the truth. If you savor, taste your food. Sometimes we're so quick to just shove it in. You know, I don't know if we think somebody's going to come along and steal it or what, but we're so quick to just shove it in, we don't stop and savor it. I used to be such a fast eater, I never could taste my food. I'd be on bite number 4 and go, wait, what? It's half gone. Now I definitely savor the food. And that's what I did. Like I told you, I put 4 tortellini on my plate. I cut them in half and ate half at a time and savored every bite. And that brings me to another point that's not on here, but one that I want to bring up. And I know this is getting so long. I'm so sorry, but I think this is a really important topic. If something is not point worthy, don't eat it. Just because you put it on your plate does not mean you have to eat it. Nope. If you take one bite and decide, oh, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be, but you know, this is probably a lot of points because it's in a heavy sauce or it's got a lot of butter, don't eat it. Sometimes Doug will be my human garbage disposal. Other times I just leave it on my plate and push it to the side because I am not spending my hard-earned points on something that I am not going to enjoy 100%. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. And that's why always take smaller portions of things to start with. Something may look absolutely delicious and you take a bite of it and go, looks can be deceiving. So start with small portions. And if it was something that you really, really loved, then think about it and then maybe go back and get seconds. Yep. That's the way to do it. So it says, let's dive a little deeper. No matter what your weight loss or wellness goals look like during this time or any time of the year, you can and should still RSVP yes to dinners, parties, and whatever other festivities you want. Staying on course is totally possible. By identifying any potential obstacles that may come up and having a go-to plan, you can spend more time with friends or family and way less time worrying about what you're going to eat or drink. In the long run, it can make your journey that much more livable. Definitely something worth toasting to. Now, how many times have I said, try to focus on the fun, the friends, the family, and the fellowship, not the food. Social gatherings come down to all the F's. The fun, the friends, the family, the fellowship, and yes, the food. But that food should be your last priority, especially after everything we have been through in the last 2 years, where, you know, last Christmas, last Thanksgiving, we didn't have the friends and the family. Most of us did not. So that's what your main focus should be, is that friends, the family, and the fellowship, and the fun. Yes, the food is a very important part of the holidays and the celebrations. Just don't make it the main spotlight. That's all I have to say about that, my friends. It's hard. I'm not telling you it's not. I'm not telling you it's easy. I'm not telling you I didn't want to have a whole hunk the size of my head of the carrot cake the other night. But you know what? The 3 bites I had were satiating, satisfying, and the feeling I had about myself was phenomenal. That was better than any bite of carrot cake I could have had. Because face it, a lot of people gain during the holidays. It happens. It happens to people on weight loss journeys. It happens to people not on weight loss journeys. But it's how you handle it and how much you allow yourself to gain. Because do you really want to start all over again? I know I don't. So think about it, act on it, and do it. We've got this, and I am here for you. If you need to send me a message, an email, a text, whatever, if you need me to talk you down off the wall, I will do it. I will. I'm here for you, folks. I am, because you're here for me. Every single video, you're here for me. And I cannot thank you enough for that. So before I get emotional, I am going to tell you the recipe of the week is cinnamon spiced oven roasted sweet potatoes. Anywhere from 0 to 2 points on your personal plans. It would be 0 for me because I do have that as a 0-point personal food. So it's basically just sweet potatoes cut into wedges with a little bit of cinnamon and cumin, which I'm not a fan of, and roasted in the oven. So that is it. Thank you so much for spending 22 minutes with me. I'm sorry this was so long, but I think it's important. I really do. We got this, guys. We've got this. Come on, we can do it. We can do it. If you know someone that could benefit from this video and my tough love, please feel free to share it at your WW workshops, on your social media, wherever it is you like to share things. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you as part of my community, so please hit that subscribe button. And if you hit that little notification bell and check all, every time I upload a video, you will be notified. So thank you for all of your support. Thank you for everything. I love you all, and have a fantastic day, and we can get through this. We can.